Hey everybody. Okay, so here we are wrapping up at the end of the day. It's the last video. Thank you so much for joining me today. And guys, I really appreciate the fact that you've been so kind to me, sending me your instant messages and your direct messages, your emails, your calls. I really appreciate all the inquiries you've had about coaching and mentoring. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And guys, today I have got some great information for you today on tip number 5, amateur versus professional practice, right? Amateur versus professional practice. I had to shorten the title down because it really wouldn't fit what I really wanted to say. What I really wanted to say is I believe the statement that amateurs practice until they get it right, and professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. Amateurs practice until they get it right, and professionals practice until they can't get it wrong, right? I'm a big believer in this, right? And maybe it's because of my military background, but when you think about it, the challenge is, what do you do with people who make mistakes? I mean, that's a fair question, right? I mean, what do you do? What would you do? What would you do if your professional, your doctor, your lawyer, neurosurgeon, they just commonly made mistakes? I mean, it was just not, I mean, they're a good person, they're nice, but every time he picks up a scalpel, I mean, they're carting away the body in a bag. I mean, every time he goes to perform eye surgery, people turn blind. I mean, what kind of professional would it be if they were a failure? You see, I think you and I would agree that the people who do not exhibit professionalism, do not exhibit competence, do not exhibit a measure of ability, do not get paid, they do not last, and they certainly are not welcome in the profession. However, in real estate, it's a little bit different, right? There's a lot of people out here who are doing business by really flying by the seat of their pants, and really, the market kind of describes that. I mean, when you look at the level of expired and canceled listings in your marketplace, the level of frustration and anger that you hear from the for sale by owners, is it really any wonder at all why they hate us? Not really. When you think about the fact that we don't practice, the fact that we're not professional, the fact that we don't take the time to learn the skills it takes to treat our customers and our clients with the level of aptitude and respect that they deserve, well, frankly, it's not really any surprise that we get treated and paid the way we do. If you want to increase the level of your proficiency and skill, you have got to ask more of yourself. I wrote down point number 1, practice is realistic. Practice is realistic. When I was in the military, we always practiced as if it was real, right? Because the mind can't tell the difference between fake and real if the fake is real enough, okay? For example, you've all heard that same old tired line, you're biting into a lemon or whatever, you probably feel the juices in your mouth, and that's the Pavlov's response or whatnot. It's the same concept, right? Your mind is incapable of distinguishing the difference between fiction and reality if you make the fiction vivid enough. If you make that fiction vivid enough, the role play, the practice, the situation, if you make it vivid enough, your mind will not know how to distinguish the difference. Are you having problems with your presentation? Are you having problems on the phone? Are you having problems texting? Don't know what to say? Don't know how to handle situations? Role play. Role play and practice. I used to have a terrible time with for sale by owners. I used to think they'd be, yelling at me and being angry, and until I started role playing and practicing that way. I started having my role play partner yell at me and give me mean things, and they would say, these horrible objections, and I'd have to fight through it. One of the rules was that I would win. Right? The reality is you got to make yourself win. And what happened was it helped me identify ways that I needed to improve myself. And it got me past that fear to where now I could act and operate in a lightning fast way. The truth is it trains your mind and your tongue. Remember, your tongue is a muscle. It needs to learn how to act and how to say things in a quick, concisive way and how to say these things in the most efficient way possible. You'll never learn how to say things efficiently if you're going out on one presentation a month. It's just the way it is. Point number 2, I wrote down, it has to be regular. Has to be regular. Your practice has to be regular. You can't go up and expect to bat like Babe Ruth if you only practice once in a while, especially when you're new. Listen, you have to determine how you're going to talk. Okay, I get it. You want to be you. You don't want to change the way you are. But what if the way you are is unsuccessful? What if the way you are is not working? What if the way you are is calling people 3-4 hours a day and getting nobody? What if what you're doing now is not successful in your mindset? The problem is, if you're new, you don't know how to do things. And if you don't know how to do things, it's difficult for you to learn how. Practice makes your brain think instinctively. It grooves into your brain so you know exactly what to say and when. See, the truth is that in order for you to be effective, in order for you to be as effective as possible with somebody, you have to be instinctive. It has to be instinctual. You can't be thinking, gosh, I don't know what to say. That, boom, has to come out right then, right there, and right now. That way, it sounds convincing. And the only way it gets convincing and comes out of you instantaneously is if you've driven and drug and got it deep inside. Point number 3, you have to rotate what you practice. You can't practice the same thing over and over again. You're going to get bored to death. You're going to get tired. I mean, good Lord, you've been doing this for 7.5 minutes with me, and you're probably like, oh gosh, when's this guy going to stop talking? I can go to the bathroom. Listen, point number 7, you have to change what you practice. You have to rotate it, right? How long are you going to be in the real estate? How long are you going to be in the real estate business? If you're going to be in the real estate business 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? Who cares? But if you're going to be in it for 5, 10, 15 years, okay, well then you have the time. Pick a script, all right, and work on it each week so you can get better at it, right? There's plenty of time for you to learn the scripts that you need. Find an objection, find a problem, find a presentation that you're having problems with. Pick a script that's going to work and then repeat, rehearse, internalize the script inside yourself so that you can be effective when the moment of truth comes. Guys, I know this has been a long one. I really appreciate it. I hope you take this deep inside you because this is going to be a very important point for you. If you're trying to get to the next level, you have to learn how to practice. And amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals, they practice till they can't get it wrong. As always, guys, thanks a lot and have a powerful sales day.